Hi Steelers Nation, this is Steelers Guru here to preview the game this week between our Pittsburgh Steelers and the Houston Texans. I know last week's game was an excruciatingly tough loss, but the Steelers have to leave the past in the past and continue to move forward with urgency. Like the old saying goes, what don't kill you can only make you stronger. And I look for the Steelers to come out of this one that lost last week as a much stronger football team and take out all their frustrations on the Houston Texans. Now, the Houston Texans come into the game having lost 4 in a row and are 3-10 on the season, but they do have some talent on the offensive side of the ball. They have all-pro receiver DeAndre Hopkins as well as super speedster Will Fuller that can present some problems to the Pittsburgh Steelers, being that we do have Artie Burns, who has struggled at times this year with lots of pass interference penalties, as well as a rusty Joe Hayden coming back after missing a month from injury. And we can be exploited in the passing game. Now, the Houston Texans have a decent running back combo in Alfred Blue and Lamar Miller, who has some speed. Now, the Steelers have struggled with bad teams on the road this season, having losing to the Chicago Bears and struggling with the Cleveland Browns the first game of the season and the Indianapolis Colts with Jacoby Brissett at quarterback. I look for the Steelers, and I hope that they mix in more man-to-man coverage like they did last week. I don't want them coming out and playing soft zone tackle to catch the whole game. Because what that does, if you have a struggling quarterback coming into a game, the soft zone tackle to catch philosophy is we'll give up the 2-3 yard pass and come up and make the tackle. Now, what that does, especially when you're facing a struggling quarterback, is as he completes those 2-3 yard passes, he starts to get his confidence up. And next thing you know, he's taking shots down the field against our secondary. And I don't want that to happen. Keep mixing up your coverages with man-to-man so you can keep him guessing and hopefully force him into a couple of interceptions. Now, defensively, the Steelers have to dominate up front because the Texans, they have just an average offensive line. The offensive line have given up 39 sacks this year, and they're only rushing for 4 yards per carry. So I look for Stephon Tuitt, Cameron Hayward, Bud Dupree, and TJ Watt to take this game into their hands and dominate. They have to, because they still have to make up for the loss of Ryan Shazier. You still have a Sean Spence who's still trying to find his way with this defense. This is only his 3rd game back. You have an LJ Ford who doesn't have much experience. And you have Vince Williams. He's a nice player, and actually I think he might have been a little snub for the Pro Bowl. He has 7 sacks on the year, and he had a crucial interception to Tom Brady. Okay, let's flip to the other side of the ball and talk about the Steelers' offense. I expect them to keep progressing after the loss of Antonio Brown. That means Juju Smith-Schuster, who I think who has been excelling on the outside, Martavis Bryant has to keep getting better, and we have super quick Eli Rogers doing his thing in the slot. Now, Marcus Gilbert is coming back after missing 4 games from suspension. That's a little tricky because will that upset the chemistry on the offensive line? We all know chemistry is about as equally as talent as far as an offensive line being able to succeed. They developed solid chemistry with Chris Hubbard being in there. So it'll be interesting to find out, will Marcus Gilbert will take time to build that chemistry with him? Because if it does, this might not be an easiest game as we could imagine with Le'Veon Bell as far as him running the ball. That would mean the passing game has to pick up the slack if we are not able to run the ball. Now, the Texans, their defensive line did sustain some injuries as far as J.J. Watt going out in the beginning of the season, as well as Whitney Merciless. But they do have all-pro linebacker Jadeveon Clowney, who is a force in the running game, as well as the passing game. Will he be able to exploit Alejandro Villanueva, who's not the greatest pass blocker in the world, or rusty Marcus Gilbert? We shall find out. Now, I do think the Steelers have enough talent to dominate the Houston Texans, and I fully expect them to do so. My score for the game, 38-14 Steelers, as we continue to make our way to the playoffs and hopefully the Super Bowl. Now, you can follow me on Twitter at Steelers Guru. This is the dude, Steelers Guru, signing out.